Good to go? All right. Welcome, everybody, to Season 3, Episode 33 of the Fantasy Guys. We are officially live and ready to get the show on the road today. We have another great show lined up for you all today. Looking forward to hearing what the guest has to say. Should be some great conversations with a great friend of ours. But before we even introduce him, let me go ahead and give a shout out to the people who are in the building today, putting in that work. Shout out to little big bro Yusuf Thabit on the ones and twos. As always, we appreciate him. Of course, you got myself, Omar T. To the left of me, we got big bro Mo T. And then to the left of him, we have TaDarrell King, aka TK, in the building today. Go ahead and give him a round of applause. You know, today's topic is all about raising D1 athletes. What does it take to raise some D1 athletes? For those of you that don't know, his sons are Kalen and Kobe King. I mean, you know, if we do this show next year, we probably switch the title to Raising NFL Athletes, hopefully.
No doubt.
But, you know, Kalen King in Green Bay, Kobe senior year at Penn State, getting ready for that. You know, both of them attended Penn State. So, you know, my sister, being the great person she is, she's like, man, you should get him on the show to talk about what it takes to raise D1 athletes. And we're like, you know what? You know, I'm gonna act like that I came up with that one. You know, that idea. Now, all jokes aside, this should be a great show today. Looking forward to TK and hearing what he has to say. So, you know, we were just joking about this right before the show. You should definitely, you know, if you are someone who has hopes for your kid, it doesn't even have to necessarily be D1. It could be just college, you know, trying to play college, you know, be a student athlete. Take notes. All jokes aside, you know, take notes, man, because, you know, TaDarrell has been after his kids their whole lives, been with them, and you're going to hear his story. So, you know, take notes. Like me, I'm personally trying to take notes for my nephews or for anyone else, you know, that might be coming along the way. So definitely one of those shows where you should tune in and hear what TK has to say. But before we do anything of that, be sure to follow us on all of our socials. We have YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, all under Oz Media. You'll be able to listen to the show later on Apple and Spotify podcasts under Oz Media. If anyone wants to call in, you're watching, you have questions for TK, the number is 313-306-1750. Again, 313-306-1750. We got to give a shout out to the sponsors, the Balkan House, Juice Box, Kahwa House, BC Adhesives, Hanley International Academy, Specialty Medical Center, and Unique Coney Island. Yusuf, we're going to start off with the place that TK said that he tried, which is the Balkan House. TK, you want to give us some few words about the Balkan House? You said you really enjoyed it, man.
I love the donors.
The donors.
I had what's kind of donors that? What's the green balls?
Falafel.
Falafel. I had the falafel donor, and I loved it.
Are you on a veggie diet or something? Or?
Then I was.
Okay.
Then I was.
Yeah.
Now you know I'm chicken winging to death, but I was off my falafel, and I liked it.
Nice. Well, shout out to the Balkan House. They offer falafel, they offer the beef and the chicken donors. So shout out to Balkan House, and we're gonna officially get the show on the road.
You know what, Yusuf, man? I'm in the mood for some Balkan food.
Yeah, man, me too.
Well, you know, there's no better place to go for Balkan than the Balkan House restaurant. The Balkan House restaurant is famous for their doner kebab sandwiches. But did you know that the Balkan House now serves breakfast? Did you also know that all their food is 100% halal? There are currently 2 Balkan House locations, one in Hamtramck and one in Ferndale. But they now also have 2 food trucks, so you can book your next party or event with the Balkan House on wheels. If you're looking for a nice place to eat with friendly service and great prices, look no further than the Balkan House restaurant.
All right, so shout out to TK, man. I want to check in with you first of all. You know, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. I know you had some high school stories. Sports stories as well with your own self, man. Yeah. I know you played sports. You know, tell us a little bit about what you've done in the past, and you know, just let us get to know you a little bit, man.
I'm just a regular guy, man, from the east side. You know what I'm saying? I had my boys when I was 23 years old. So, you know, from what I fell in love with in high school with sports, I played baseball since I was 6 years old, and me and all my brothers. And, you know, I just love sports. You know what I'm saying? Coming up in the inner city, that's what we did. We went outside and played, and I just fell in love with sports. And, you know, I'm just, you know, a regular guy from the east side. You know, I was blessed enough to have 2 boys, twins at the same time. And, you know, they kind of had the DNA in them of loving sports too. So at that point, I just made it my job to introduce them to everything and see what they liked and didn't like. And when they made the decision to fall in love with something, we went full speed at it. So, I was just, if I would say so, I don't really like talking about myself, but, I'm just a guy that put his all into his kids and tried to give them everything that they deserve.
Kudos to you, man, because you've done a great job with that. You said you play baseball. I see you got a King Griffey shirt on right there. What position did you play?
I played catcher, left field. When I was in Little League, I pitched and caught. But in high school, I played catcher and left.
What high school did you go to?
Finney.
Finney.
Yeah. They tore Finney down, and now it's East English Village.
Okay.
But, when I was there, it was Finney.
Moti, we haven't had you on the show in a minute, too. How you been? Everything good, big bro?
Same old. Yeah, man. It's been like a minute.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks.
Yeah.
Any word for TK right now, man? What are you looking forward to today's conversation, man?
Yeah, I mean, I always admired TK, man. Like the party we went to, I was telling him like he was a presence when he walked in. You know what I'm saying? His aura, like everybody would just came around him. You know what I'm saying? And I could tell he was important person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But so I was joking with Felicia. I was like, so where'd they get the jeans from? Which side? You know what I'm saying? And now you mentioned baseball. I think it came from Felicia's side.
Yeah.
No, but all jokes aside, man, that's why we're here today. Like I said, we're here to take some notes and learn and what it takes to raise D1 athletes, man. And so I guess my first question to you is, as a father, like, what is the number one thing you have to keep reminding yourself when trying to raise a Division I athlete? And this question is very broad because you can go at it in so many different ways, you know what I'm saying, in terms of schools and the decisions that they make, like how much of it you're involved. So like, I guess as a father, like what's like the number one thing you kept reminding yourself, like, man, you know what, maybe I need to scale back or maybe I need to push him or whatever it may be. What was it?
For me, the number one thing was instilling good values into them as young men. They can't reach D1 without having that core, without having some sort of solitude of morals, values, stern upbringing, and discipline. You cannot achieve those goals without those values. So that was first. If I can't put that into them, they don't have a shot. So that was first.
That's a great point because looking at them as students, first of all, they were student athletes.
Yeah.
They always took care of their schoolwork. They were in honors classes in middle school.
Yeah.
They great kids. Like, obviously everyone's silly. You could be silly. That's normal. But they didn't really get in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't get in trouble. If you don't mind,
not to cut you off, but that's what I mean about the stern upbringing because it's repercussion for trouble.
Yeah. Sure.
Not saying that you have to be physical in your discipline because that's something that I didn't like doing. You know what I mean? But I know I got to answer to somebody if I do something that don't align with what's going on at home. So the repercussion of knowing that dad's there, we don't think twice about that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so, I guess, how did you approach discipline? Obviously, without, if you weren't being physical, was it just the conversations? Was it?
I created this thing called boot camp.
Kalen talked about it quickly. He said they had a boot camp.
Yeah, he kind of he brushed around it, but boot camp for me was depending on the level of trouble it was, whether they got kicked out of class or whatever it was, that would determine how long boot camp would go on. So boot camp would be, let's say, 30 minutes. You would have to be in a push-up position for 5 minutes. Then from there, the next 5 minutes, you're going to squat with your arms out. Then from there, you're going to hold some weights with your arms out to the side. Then you're going to hold a wall squat for another 3 minutes. Then you got to give me 10 push-ups. Then we're going to do this over and over for 30 minutes. We might have you doing leg lifts and all. 30 minutes, this is going on. So mentally, it's something that you don't want to go through that. Because as the time goes on, it drains your body. And now I'm looking at the results from it and I'm seeing character come from it. I'm seeing not only them developing their body because all they're doing is push-ups and sit-ups and holding books, weights. That's something you're gonna do anyway.
Yeah.
But it wasn't too much to, mess up any joints or anything. But I got more out of that than putting the belt to him because I didn't want to. I don't want that. I didn't like how that felt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That I didn't want to hurt my kids, but I know that was gonna teach them a lesson.
And you're kind of training them and getting
No
them
doubt,
ready. You know
no
what I'm
doubt.
saying?
Their bodies are developing right as they're being disciplined, but it always would follow with the conversation because I can't discipline you and not allow you to understand the reason why this discipline is going on. I think a man's job is to, especially when he has young men, black young men from the inner city, it's our job to show our young men how to behave in society.
For sure.
I can't allow the police, the judicial system to discipline my kids if I'm right there. They know before I get to that point, I got to answer to my pops. And he's not going to play with me. But it's an understanding to where I already know the repercussion. I already know what I got to do. It was some days they came in and they would rather get whooped. Because I would get them, y'all want boot camp or y'all want the belt? They'll go get the belt. Nah, that you want the easy way out. 30 minutes.
Yep.
And, you know, from that, it gave them some of the challenges and toughness that I was able to experience in Detroit that they missed out on growing up in Hamtramck. Yeah. Even though, you know, they grew up in Detroit as well, family and all of that, but they didn't have the same obstacles I had as far as when I walk out and go to the store, it might be something in that journey.
Yeah.
They never had that.
For sure.
So to create that toughness and that adversity, we're going to see how long you can do this.
Moti, what are your thoughts, man?
No, I mean, I totally agree with him, man. I think, you know, we got the whoopings, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The belt, the sticks, you know, I tell my kids all the time and I remind them, and I'm like you too, you know, I don't physically, you know, touch my kids.
Yeah.
You know, I try to do other ways where they listen, but I still think ain't nothing wrong with being physical with your kids, just to remind them to, respect me. I'm your father. You know what I'm saying? But I think our generation, I think we talked about this with Coach Smith. Remember? Yeah. I think our generation, we're being more involved with our kids.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the most important thing.
No doubt. I agree.
No, for sure, man. I love it. I love the conversation. And man, go ahead and give that a round of applause too, by the way. TK explaining the importance of being there for your kids, man, and raising them. So
can I touch on the second half of that?
Of course.
Because I spoke on the first half of it, but once all that's established, you have to create a routine. You have to create a discipline. You have to create a work ethic to where your daughter or son is dedicating those hours to their greatness. I said this story before on other platforms, but my question to my boys was, do y'all want to be good or do y'all want to be great? And once they answered with great, I let them know it's going to take sacrifice. Some of the parties, the pin-the-tail on the donkey, the Little Caesars, the Chuck E. Cheese, you might have to miss out on them because we got to train. And there's a difference between working out and training. Mm-hmm. Training is something that you dedicate yourself to. It's a must you get up and do that. So once they create that routine or you help them create a routine and it's consistent, that's going to start to build those habits and create those hours that they say you need 10,000 hours of dedication to your profession to reach greatness. And those are the hours that continue to stack every day. I might do 2 today. I might do 3 today. I might do 30 minutes tomorrow. I might just stretch and cold tub. Those all stack up, but I have to create those habits of working on my craft. If I'm a basketball player, I got to shoot. I got to dribble. I got to defensive slide. If I'm a football player, I got to catch the ball. I got to backpedal. I got to read and react. If I'm a baseball player, I need the glove, the ball, the bat. I have to work on it. So once you get the discipline and you get, instilled with values, you have to put in the work. I don't know how much I can stress that, but if you think you're going to take a day off, it's somebody else that's starving. It's somebody else that's hungry. And you allow them to take steps ahead of you by relaxing. We got 24 hours in a day. Give 2 to yourself. Give 1 to yourself. If you don't do anything physical, watch film.
Just as important.
Yeah.
You know, see what you're doing right and see what you're doing wrong, and obviously working on that too. You know, I love that, man. And then again, you know, feel free to keep throwing in gems like that, man. Because like I said, you know, real talk. Like the goal for today's show mainly is to, you know, if people really are trying to raise their kids to be athletes, you know, they can learn from it because obviously you know what you're doing. And I guess what, you know, the next question is talking about like kind of give us through like how you trained them when they were kids to teenagers to, you know, adults. But even what made you feel comfortable being that person? You know what I'm saying? Because obviously, like, we all want to help our kids, but we knew, you know, sometimes there's a certain extent where we can't take them to the next level, and we can be honest with ourselves.
Right.
But, you know, you were confident that, you know, were you like watching videos? Were you talking to people and getting advice? Like, what made you feel confident enough to be that guy that's like literally their trainer pretty much?
It's my job. It's my job. I mean, for one, I love it.
Okay.
I grew up loving sports. Now, let's say it was they wanted to be in theater. They wanted to be actors. I would have done research to know how to go about it. But whatever they wanted to do, whatever they had passion in, it's my job to give them my full everything with it. So being that it is sports, it aligns with everything that I love. And I know you can teach a lot of life values through sports. You know what I'm saying? So not only do I have to have a sit-down one-on-one, when you run in a 10 and out, that's going to also teach you how to get up early in the morning and get ready for school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make your bed up. You know what I'm saying? But I loved it. They loved it. So I had to. This is one thing I tell men. If you can make time to go on a trip for the weekend to Miami and party, you should be able to do the same for your kids. You should sacrifice partying to give to your children. It's easy to go out, party, live it up, have fun. Nothing wrong with that. But if your child isn't benefiting in the same fact from your effort, then you cheating them. So I sacrificed. I knew that what I seen early in them, it was real. So I couldn't cheat them by not giving them my full attention and my full effort and my full knowledge towards what their craft was. It's a lot of things. Like I said, I play baseball. That's the one thing I put in front of them that they didn't like. I had just paid a travel team $900 total, $450, and man, it would take up the whole weekend. But at that point, they were so used to being the man, having the ball, creating and making things happen, being in the outfield standing, and it wasn't
That's
for
different.
them. But I realized at that point, all I need to know is you don't like it. We're not gonna force it. But when you do like it, we gonna put that effort towards it. So, you know, I just wanted to give them, and I know I'm kind of long-winded, but I just wanted to give them my full effort when I seen that they had something that they liked. And when you love it, let's attack it full blast.
Honest question. When you asked them, do y'all want to be good or great? What if they said they wanted to be good? How would you handle that?
We wouldn't even have done it. We wouldn't even have done it because I know it don't take much to be good. You can go out and play with your friends and be good,
Yeah.
but I want to attack what you want to be great at. I'm gonna put a lot of things on the table that might contribute to that. Instance, football, Kobe tackling. He was always taller, so he used to tackle high. I put him in wrestling just to lower his pad level, just to drop his hips, just to play lower. He ended up being a 2-time national champ, 3-time All-American in wrestling. He got 1 disqualification. That's his only loss in his life. I didn't think wrestling was for him, but I seen that he had a flaw in football, and this might have been able to help him. So it's a lot of things we add things to the dish to help it. But when the steak is the steak, it's just gonna sizzle.
Yeah.
But sometimes we put the mashed potatoes on the side to compliment it, and wrestling was a compliment, and he ended up being great at it. So I wanted to create those habits of greatness. If you just want to be good, then come back and tell me after the game how you played, and I'll cheer for you. But if you want to be great, let's reach for the stars, because man, it's unlimited opportunities when you chase greatness.
Love that. Love that. Moti, feel free to chime in anytime you have anything you want to be saying. By the way, I don't want to make a, like it's just me and TK here. So just dive in. And so I guess, can you take us through, you don't have to dive in too much, but, when they were kids, how did you, train them, becoming teenagers, like in high school? And then, I don't know if you still worked with them even when they were in college, but can you take us through like some of the things that you were doing with them?
I had to get them used early to stretching. Before we can do anything on the field, we have to stretch. And those are habits that kids don't think they need to do until later on when it benefits them to stretch. But you get those in early. After that, we go into the field, whether it's the basketball court, whether it's track, whether it's football, then we're going to put in the work. So one of the things that I know you need in order to be a great athlete is endurance. So we used to run Hamtramck. We used to get up before the birds start to chirp, and we would run. And like Dub told you on his interview, I'm running with him, And it got to the point to where they pulling up and I'm already there. But they were young then. So when they started to get that bounce and get older, shit, they was waiting on me. You know what I'm saying? But that's the progression that I wanted to see. I wanted to see, when they take off, I know they gone. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to do the same thing to them. As soon as I hit Joseph Campo, pew, I'm gone. But, other than that, man, we gonna get up. If it's basketball, Dub was a lot more skilled in basketball. Cole was more of a defensive presence, rebounder. But we're going to get shots up. Cole, you might not get a lot of shots, but you're going to shoot them out here. You're gonna make 100 a day. We're going to make 25 from each spot. We're going to make a bunch of layups. So, we putting the work in. Got to put the work in. So however you deem fit to get better in that craft, do it.
The thing with that is, obviously, you're very passionate. As people can just get that off of you, and you cared about your kids. I think the issue with some people just don't view their kids in that kind of light. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you said, the vacation stuff. Like some people are parents, but they still want to do their own thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they'll do the bare minimum. They'll feed their kids, clothe them, and make sure they have a place to sleep, and might check in on them on school. But I'm gonna be real with you, TK. Maybe 1 out of 10 parents are doing what you're doing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Which is taking it to the next level. And I mean, don't you? I mean, you agree with that, Moti?
Yeah. I was gonna say higher than that. Probably 1 out of 100, man.
Yeah, 1 out of 100. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what it is. I think parents just, you'll find your parent. I mean, a lot of the times the kids that are playing at a high level, their parents are the ones that are putting in the extra work with them. But unfortunately, that's not the case for a lot of people.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Some kids just need a positive influence. It might not come from a parent. It might come from an aunt, an uncle, a big brother, sister. They just need somebody to believe in them. And once they have that, you can take that and run with it. A lot of kids don't even have the opportunity to explore what they could be good at. That's why when I mentioned the statement about them not really liking baseball, I had to put it in front of them to find out that they didn't like it. So I think if you can take these trips and party and turn up, you should also dedicate time to say, I at least want you to say no to this. What do you like doing? What do you enjoy doing? It's a lot of talented kids out here. Some kids might be artists. They like to draw. It's a lot of things that you can build off of that. You know what I'm saying? So put it in front of the kid and see if they like it. But a lot of kids, sad to say, they don't even have the opportunity to believe in themselves because, they don't have that influence over them.
No, they don't have no one actually believing in them.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? No, I agree. That's a great point, man. And, keeping things rolling, man. Shout out to TK, man. He's in the building today.
Yes, sir.
Dropping some gems, man. I'm right here. Me, I try to watch the show, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this is going to be the clip right here. So far, I think I got like 3 of them, man. I don't know which one I'm going to pick now, man.
Pick them all.
Yeah, I might have to. So moving on to that, another hard thing being a father/trainer is knowing when to pull back, or knowing when to push them. You know, I guess it's like a 2-part question: is how did you balance that, and also when it came down to making decisions of what schools do they want to go to? Were you involved in those decisions, or you know, were you just, hey, you know, I'm gonna lay this all out here. We're gonna visit all these. Ultimately, this is your final decision. You know, I'm talking about even high school to college, like Cass Tech to Penn State.
Yeah.
So number one, just when did you pull back? When did you push them hard? Like, how did you know when it was? You know, is it just something that you just felt, or
You have to push them harder than they want to be pushed, in my opinion, to see what they can handle. They have to have a breaking point. Fortunately for my boys, I can push them to the limit, and they gonna jump off a building. And that's one thing that I seen in them. Like, the greatness wasn't just talk; it was, if you say we need to do this, we're gonna do it. But I have noticed times to where myself, I can see it, and I say, you know what? We just gonna stay in and watch film today. We had a routine after every little league football game. As soon as we got home, because I always recorded it, we would break down the film. And it wouldn't just be, oh, you scored a touchdown here or a good tackle here. It was, oh, you could have had 3 more tackles because look at the angle. Or if you would have hit that harder, you could have got to that outside and you would have really took it all the way to the house. So we would break down film and dissect everything. You know what I'm saying? So I would pull back in that aspect, but we're still gonna learn. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't have to beat them physically. I just wanted to see what they can handle. Now that I know that they can handle, I don't have to go there all the time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But when it came to, you know, deciding the school, for high school, they were real close to going to E-course. Shout out to my guy, Coach Brock, man. He was trying to build something out there, and I've been, you know, I played ball with him in high school, and he's very impactful with the young men in the city today. He's coaching at Depsa High School, so but I was real close at locking in with him, man. But their mom, she overstood that, you know what I'm saying, because academically they didn't bring to the table what Cass did, and once Cass came full blast, I had to, you know, let her take the lead on that, and she, you know, she really directed that. Now, when it came to college decision, my job was to every college that they had offers to, not every, because they had over 40 offers, but the ones that y'all feel strong and serious about, my job is to take y'all on campus. And I'm going to allow y'all to make the decision because you guys have to be here for 3 to 4 years. I'm going to give my input, but I want this to be y'all decision, so it's no regret or saying, man, my daddy made me go here and I didn't really want. No, never gonna have to say that, because one thing parents do is they take the voice away from the child. No, you have to. It has to be a team. You know, it's a team effort because they have to live it. So how do you feel about this? I always gave my boys a voice. I think it's a detriment to any young man, young lady to only be a puppet, because then that's when living through your kids can become detrimental. I wanted them to have a say-so in it. Most of the time they would always agree with me because of my impact and my influence on them, and they both love and look up to me. But I also wanted to prepare them for manhood and say, hey, listen, you're gonna have to make decisions real soon. So start now. Where do you feel comfortable? So after we visited all these colleges, they brainstormed and they came out of there with Penn State, and I said, well, we are. You know what I mean? So, you know, that was key to me, because we don't have to go back and erase nothing. Everything aligned the way it should, and this is what y'all feel comfortable with.
Yeah, dude, TK, your sacrifice is crazy, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Appreciate it.
I hope they appreciate you one day, or probably do right now.
No
doubt. You know, as far as the colleges, you know, I'm a big Michigan, you know, fan. I think we talked about
both.
This. Yeah. So I know Kalen said that at one point he wanted Penn State and Kobe wanted to go to Wisconsin. If I remember, where did you want them to go?
I wanted them to go. I wanted them to go to Wisconsin, even though Michigan was man, they put the pressure on. I wanted them to go to Michigan, but I looked at it as they're showing this love to Kobe because of Dub. They didn't fall in love with Kobe like that. Wisconsin did. Wisconsin loved Kobe. Dub got the offer because of Kobe there. And one thing that I seen that I liked was when I went to Madison, Wisconsin for a visit. They were one of the biggest rated party schools, but it was in the middle of nowhere. It was nothing to do there. So all they can do is focus on football. Fast forward to today.
He's in Green Bay.
He's in Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's nothing to do but focus on football. So I didn't get what I wanted in college, but it played out the way it's supposed to because that's the perfect environment for him right now at this point. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, he still has some maturing to do as a young man. He's a bright kid and he has the world ahead of him. But sometimes your kids might thrive in different atmospheres over the ones that's a little bit more fast. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's it, man.
If going back to the Michigan, if you could talk about it, why not Michigan? What did Michigan not do for Kalen or Kobe to go there?
They did everything, man. They showed up at basketball games. Harbaugh, the D coordinator at the time, man, they came full fledged, and I still remember the Zoom meeting that we had with them, and he's in the pros now, so it ain't gonna make no difference. But it was all of the coaches on. They had about 5 coaches on, and we were on the Zoom, and he's asking. This is before we make the decision. He's asking about what are you guys feeling right now? And they like, yeah, we're just gonna wait till Tuesday, and we're gonna make the decision. Harbaugh said, all the coaches get off the Zoom. Get off the Zoom. Everybody got off, so it's just us and Harbaugh. He said, what do you guys want? What do you guys need? Anything. I said, hold on, let's go to my quarters for a minute. And I said, hey, man, listen,
what's up?
They wasn't feeling. They didn't grow up loving Michigan. They really not attached to the local teams at all. They didn't grow up loving Tyrone Wheatley and Desmond Howard and Charles Woodson and the Fab Five like we did. You know what I'm saying? So the attachment isn't there. But when Harbaugh said that, man, as a dad, I'm like, cha-ching, let's go. Right. But they didn't feel it. So, I did want to present that to him. Like, this man ain't saying this for nothing.
For sure.
He's saying this, he's serious.
Right.
But ultimately, man, I think they made the right decision. I would like to say we could be national champs right now. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't in the cards for us with Michigan. So, Kobe still got an opportunity at Penn State to bring a national championship to the family. But, I was loving Michigan, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go
ahead, my bad.
One more thing, Mom. Sorry.
No, you're good.
So you're saying James Franklin offered the bigger bag?
No, they go buy the book, man. They go buy the book, man.
Did you? So Michigan State was not even in the conversation.
No, I'm gonna tell you seriously. When because we visited D'Antoni before we went to Penn State or Wisconsin. And they moved to the top of my list. The only thing that hurt Michigan State was his age and him not assuring us that he would be there to coach them. He was saying things like, as of right now, I'm feeling good and I'm gonna be here. Come on, coach.
You picked up on that kind of verbiage, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I know he can't make promises, but I need, if you are the guy that's recruiting us and we're coming here for you, because he was a coach that got that team to the playoffs before, and he holds his hat on defense. But if you're not going to be here, it's no point.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all dodged the bullet. Let's be real, right?
No doubt.
Everything that has happened in Michigan State the last couple of years. Hopefully things are turning around. But kudos to you, man. Listen, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's why I asked this question, because it's not easy. You have all this, love for Michigan, and then even you said deep down you wanted them to go to Wisconsin, and then you just let them make that decision because it's obviously probably the biggest decision that they made in their lives. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
sure.
So kudos to you, man. It's not easy as a parent to just, be there their whole lives. And then, right when that big decision comes, you kind of just scale back and let them, make that decision. It's not easy.
Yeah.
So I guess the final thing would be with this segment, because now we're gonna talk a lot of sports after this. But any final tips, final recommendations, final advice that you would give to parents out there that might have kids on the cusp of being D1 or professional athletes? What would you be telling them?
I'm gonna continue to stress. Just give your time and your effort, man. We have a job and a responsibility as parents, to give that opportunity, that belief in our kids. So it's okay to enjoy your life. It's cool, but I believe once they come here, it's all about the kids. You know what I'm saying? So my advice to any parent is, man, they are number one priority. Let's put and invest in them, and I guarantee you're gonna be able to look at yourself at the end of the day in the mirror and say, I gave them all of me, no matter the result. But if you give all of yourself to your kids, they won't have anything to point at you and say, well, you didn't give me this and you didn't help me do that. Listen, everything you wanted, I gave you. I probably wasn't perfect in parenting because there's no manual on how to be a good parent. You learn as you go from what you learn from your parents, but invest in your kids. And I don't mean to get a return on it, but for them to capitalize on what you give them.
For sure. Go ahead and give that a round of applause, man.
Solid.
Love it. Yusuf, we're going to run to our next ad right quick. Give TK a break right quick because he's been spitting this whole past 30 so minutes. So shout out to TK, man. Yusuf, we're going to go ahead and give a shout out to BC Adhesives. We're going to do it again. Give them a shout out. With our friends over there in Wisconsin, they got a new player coming to Green Bay, Guyz King, and they're excited. So shout out to BC Adhesives, and we're going to keep things rolling, man.
I believe it's very important for every team to stick together. And what I do here at Oz Media to make sure we are all one glue is I stop by BC Adhesives.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what it's used for.
Nah, Yusuf, it's not. But you can go to BC Adhesives for all your industrial adhesives needs. They do food packaging, book binding, product assembly, and many other industrial services. So if you're in need of adhesives for your business or having trouble with your current adhesives applications, you can contact them by phone 1-888-679-9825 or go to their website at www.bcadhesives.com.
So TK, you kind of mentioned Hamtramck right quick. I want to hear your thoughts, man. Like, what were your thoughts on, what made you want to move to Hamtramck, and how has that been, or how was that for you?
That was more of a family thing, man. Me and their mom met, and she is from that area.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So a lot of her family stayed over there or moved, closer to her. So that's where she moved, and that's where we moved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Any thoughts on the city in general? Like, did you enjoy it, or was it?
I love the diversity in Hamtramck. I love the. It's a balance between peace, hardworking people, and values.
Yeah.
One thing that me as a black man coming from the inner city is, I love my people. You know what I mean? But I'm jealous and envious of some of the Arab beliefs, some of the Polish beliefs, because they're unified, they're together, they support each other. You know what I mean? And I wish one day me and my people can, come together and live in that manner, love each other. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that play a part in that, but I'm jealous in a good way because I envy it. And being in Hamtramck allowed me to see diversity. It allowed me to learn cultures and learn about people that I wouldn't normally come across, people such as yourself. You know what I'm saying? And, when you meet good people and you see, their beliefs and their upbringings and, how they are with family, man, you kind of wish that was, widespread. So, I love it. I still live there, and, until I get retired. I'm gonna be there.
There you go. There you go. You know, we have to give a shout out to the city. You know, I actually work for the city now too.
Okay.
You know, so I'm actually at the city hall. Anytime you need anything, let me know, man. If there's,
Okay, cool.
you got issues with anything, hit me up.
No doubt.
So, you know, that was the first segment was to, you know, hear what TK had to say about raising D1 athletes, and feel free to, if there's something that you may have forgotten, just throw it out there at any time. But now we're going to shift focus to some sports talk and some of the major sports that are happening right now. One of the big things that are happening this moment is the NBA Finals. I know you said you watch basketball, you watch the NFL, and you said you watch boxing too. I don't know if you do UFC. I don't know if you.
I don't know the names, but I watch it.
Okay, yeah.
I like seeing people
Same
get
here.
knocked out.
There was a big fight yesterday as well. But with that said, NBA Finals, Dallas, Boston, it's gonna be a great one. I think this is two teams. I mean, having Boston in there, I think everyone would have picked Boston from the East to come out of the East, even though I feel like they had a cakewalk with everyone that they played. There's always been a major injury to a key player. Dallas, on the other hand, you know, that's a shocker. But when you watch them play, they definitely deserve to be there. What are your thoughts, man? And who do you got? Who you got taking home this trophy this year?
I love the matchup. It's a lot of subplots in there with Porzingis and
Kyrie.
You know, and I think I'm leaning towards Dallas.
Me too.
I think in order for Boston to win, they need a healthy Porzingis. He's been out over a month now, so he's gonna have to fight some rust off. But the way I look at it, they both coach well. They got good role players, good benches, but the difference is the two stars of the team. Tatum is a great player, but he doesn't have what Luka has. To me, he doesn't have that killer.
I agree.
Game 5, Dallas against Minnesota, Luka came out and took the heart in the first quarter. 22 points. It's over with. No more of this down the stretch. It's over. That's the killer mentality that you need to become a champion. And he has a running mate in Kyrie who's won before, who's been on this level, who knows what it feels like to win. Not only win, hit the game winner to clinch it. So with Jason Kidd, the role players, I like the addition of Gafford and P.J. Washington. Lively is a young Tyson Chandler in the making. I just like the makeup of that team. But in order for Boston to come out of this, Tatum is going to have to take it to a level of, I'm not allowing us to lose, because we seen a couple of years ago against Golden State, he underperformed. You can't get that from the faces of your franchise. Jaylen Brown can do all he wants, but if Tatum isn't superb this series, I got Dallas in 6.
That's crazy because I actually got Dallas in 6 too. But Moti, I'm gonna let Moti chime in before I say my 2 cents. What are your thoughts on?
I got Boston, but I'm gonna start off with Dallas. Yeah, man, I agree. As soon as Dallas made the Gaffer and the Washington's trade, man, huge trade.
No doubt.
Yeah, I thought that was like a low key, you know, whatever trade, but it ended up being huge for them.
Yeah.
Dude, I always liked Gaffer. By the way, he's playing for Washington.
Yeah.
And he was putting up low key numbers. He always played good versus Pistons, by the way. And I always like, man, he was sneaky. But when they made the trade, I was like, and plus they traded away
Grant Williams.
Yeah, he was like a cancer to that team.
Yeah.
And they're having issues and stuff. But I'm gonna go with Boston, man. Boston to me is a complete team. I think Boston has more depth. TK mentioned a very important point. I agree. Tatum is not to me. He's not a dog. He's not a killer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think the other one is
Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, Brown is. I think Brown is a two-way player. You know, and I think Boston has more depth. In my opinion, Porzingis should be coming back for the finals. It's a huge piece, and I think Boston was set up, you know, for this moment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I have Boston in 6.
Boston, on paper, you easily could say they have the better team.
Yeah.
You know, we are in a group chat, and I always say here, like, I'm like, dude, Dallas obviously got the 1-2 punch, but after that 1-2 punch, the talent level, I know everybody's playing their role really well, it drops big time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who's the 3 on Dallas? Like, let's be honest. Who's the number 3 player on Dallas?
It's probably Washington, PJ.
That's what's
Probably
crazy. PJ Washington, a guy who, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, people knew him because of Brittany Rayner.
Right,
You know, that's why everybody knew him because of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, You know, now he comes to Dallas, and you know now people are going to argue that he's the third on the team. So it's one of those things to me. The reason why I'm going to give the slight edge to Dallas because watching them throughout the playoffs, they just got that thing to them where it's like they have what it takes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think Boston's been battle tested. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I mean, they're 12-2 in the playoffs so far. They went 4-1, 4-1, and 4-0. Like I said, superstar players got injured throughout the series against these guys. I know they didn't have Porzingis, but on paper, Boston is loaded. I mean, not only they're good, they're loaded. They won 60 games for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I just think Dallas, man. If the game is ever close, that favors Dallas every single time.
Yeah.
They have Luka, closer, Kyrie, closer. Whereas you got Tatum and Brown. I think they still trying to figure out who's the guy. You know, especially when it comes down to making the last shot. I don't know. I mean, I want Dallas to win too. Maybe that's my bias coming in too, because of the fact that Luka, I want him to get one, and Kyrie, I want him to win one because all the smack that people were talking about him. He deserves it. But we'll see. We'll see.
Boston has home court too, so that
definitely plays a factor. So
let me add this. This is a thing that it goes by the wayside. Like we talk about the pieces that was added. When you are in a place like PJ Washington was in Hornets, they're not playing for nothing. They can get lost. Gafford was in Washington. They're not playing for nothing. So when you put these type of guys in a championship atmosphere and you already have leaders, you have stars, and all you have to do is play your role, that's beautiful for you because now you can really play. And one thing about Boston is they have had an easy pass, but they have given away games that they shouldn't.
Yep.
They have given away games that you should have won this by 10.
Yep.
They can't do this in the finals. If they give away anything, it's going to be a long fight, man. You know what I'm saying? And y'all right about the talent from top to bottom, but if you have a blunder and give a game away, you might be fighting out of a hole the rest of the way.
I mean, giving a game away to me at Boston, I mean, I have to blame Tatum, man. Tatum, needs to take control of that team, to be honest with you. I mean, he's marketable. I get it. But I think we talked about this in the group. Like, I got Jaylen Brown as a 1A and Tatum
Oh, really?
1B, yeah.
Really?
Yep.
That's kind of crazy.
Same thing with Dallas, by the way. I got Luka 1A and
that's
Kyrie
for sure.
1B.
I mean, dude. So going to this Luka thing, I started a little. I was like, listen, because this was before the season. It was 1-0 when they took the 1-0 lead against Minnesota. I was like, guys, I'm not saying nothing. All I'm saying is if Luka takes this team to the finals and they win it all with the whole journey that they've been through, all the teams that they played. By the way, every team that they played, they've been the higher. They've been the the lower seed.
Yeah.
I mean, the lower seed. So, I was like, we might have to start having some conversations. People were mad at me. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, hey, listen. All I'm saying is we need to start having some conversations. Okay.
About what?
So I'm gonna break it down now. I'm gonna break them down one by one.
I know where this is going.
Okay. Number one, if the Dallas Mavericks win the NBA Finals, is this the greatest finals journey in NBA history? They beat the Clippers, who have superstars loaded, okay? They beat OKC, who was the number 1 seed. They beat Minnesota, who were, again, they were the higher seed, and people had, by the way, Clippers, people had Clippers winning. People had OKC winning. People had Minnesota winning. And then they went and beat the number 1 seeded Boston Celtics. And remember how this roster is constructed, TK. You got Luka, you got Kyrie, and then it's all role players, man. It's all role players.
If I can limit it to one run, I don't want to get over the course of 5-6 runs.
Yeah.
If I can limit it to one run, I would say the bad boy Pistons, when they won the first championship, they had to beat Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Kareem.
That's respect. See, I wasn't even thinking that long. I mean, I should have probably said 20 years. And since the new millennium, since 2000, is this? I mean, because it ain't over yet. But if they did win, I think talent-wise, like I said, this is the 07 Cavaliers to me was the only comparison to where, You know, they had LeBron and a bunch of role players. You know, Dallas, it's only Luka and Kyrie. Like these guys, the rest of these guys, like I said, Gafford was in Washington. PJ Washington was in Charlotte. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it was just a conversation.
No, I get it.
You know what I'm saying? Just a conversation.
I get it.
Second one, is Luka the greatest greatest player to put on a Mavs jersey? Now, I don't want to say the greatest Mavs player of all time. I know Dirk Nowitzki's a legend.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the greatest player to put on a Mavericks jersey.
That's more of one that I can go with you on that one, because what he's doing so far in his career, Dirk didn't do that. Dirk didn't do this. But Dirk to me is the greatest Maverick ever. But right behind him and coming fast, man, Luka is saying, when it's all said and done, if he can pull 1 or 2 rings in, he's gonna go down in history, man.
Yeah.
Right now, he's only second to Dirk right now.
I agree.
I mean, Mavericks don't really have like a loaded,
Not because of the tenure is not there. Like you got Jason Kidd was there, Max Burns, Jimmy Jackson, but the guys
Cedric Sabalas, right?
Rolando Blackman and Derek Harper, they more 80s, but
Finley.
Yeah. See guys like that. Like when you only got 6-7 years there, it's hard to deal with guys who got 20 years, and Luka gonna be there forever. So he probably break the bank with his contract this year.
Oh, facts.
So when you got that longevity, man, it kind of play in your favor too.
All right, last one was one of the greatest foreign-born players of all time, Luka Doncic. And so someone then came up with a list of players. So you got Hakeem, you got Giannis, you got Jokic, and then to me you got Doncic. I think
He's top 5 right now for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I got Hakeem is the best foreign-born player. Dirk too.
You got Dirk in there, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, Dirk.
Joker.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I got Jokic. So you got Jokic, you got Giannis, you got Hakeem, you got Dirk, and then I think Luka is right there too.
Yeah, he's right there.
Behind those guys.
Yeah.
Any arguments with that, Moti? Any discussions?
I mean, I got Joker's number 1, to be honest with you. You know,
He is still number 1.
yeah.
Joker's
yeah,
for sure.
all around game.
Because he won.
And then
Over Elijah Wan?
I got Hakeem as number 2 for me. You know,
This is where I'm gonna challenge you on that. Hakeem played in an era where it was nothing but giants. Joker is
The Giant.
He is the giant. Him and Embiid, and Embiid's in the East. So he's the one last dinosaur in a dinosaurless league. Not saying that his play speaks for it. You still got to go out there and produce. But if we still look at Joker, if he had to see David Robinson tonight and Hakeem next week and Shaq back-to-back nights, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
that ain't easy.
I mean, if David Robinson's gonna come out to that 3-point line, you know, advantage me.
I don't know. David Robinson was a hell of a defender, man.
No, I'm saying because a Joker is gonna give you outside, inside.
do
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Passing.
Yeah, I'm just
all
saying.
around.
I would rather judge him when he's sharpening his tool against, equal talent.
He gave Gobert a Defensive Player of the Year work.
He shouldn't have got it.
I know.
he's getting it. I think Wembanyama should have got it.
Yeah.
I think he got it went against him because he's a rookie. But if we really talk, he's now getting the Defensive Player of the Year award because who else can you give it to? They don't play defense no more. So hey, give him another one.
That's kind of crazy.
When we see him and he's locked up with Joker, he looks like he shouldn't even be on the floor with him. So
Just a quick side note, they would not do any interviews with TNT because how Draymond been going hard on Gobert and Cat during the
that was why?
So they did no interviews with TNT. And then Anthony Edwards shut down an interview afterwards. So after they won. He peeped it out after they won. He didn't do an interview with them. I think what was it, game 3 or game 4? When they won, I think it was game 4. Yeah, it was game 4. They saved themselves. Usually they interview the star of the game. Anthony Edwards didn't do an interview with him because Draymond was going hard all series. I don't know if y'all paid attention.
That's the problem you run into when you got current players, analyzing the game.
Yeah.
So it might still be some bad blood there. So
yeah, Draymond don't mess with Rudy Gobert for sure. Jeffrey said Tatum disrespect is crazy. He scored all playoff points when the game went to overtime to beat Indiana. keyword, Jeffrey, is to beat Indiana, and then it was also to beat Indiana without Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
So to me, Indiana, dude, cakewalks. I'm sorry, Boston cakewalks. Miami without Jimmy Butler is just another team to me. Then they went and played against in the second round Cleveland. Donovan Mitchell ain't played, I think, in game
The
4.
last
Three games.
3 games.
Yeah. And then not that they would have. Again, Boston probably would have beat all these teams. I'm just saying they haven't really been tested. And then they play Indiana, of course, without Tyrese Halliburton. First of all, playing Indiana in the Eastern Conference Finals is already a blessing for your team. So just don't throw that out there, Jeffrey. But I do personally think Tatum is 1A and Brown is 1B. But Moti and I are probably going to disagree with that one. So moving on from there, let's move to the local team, Detroit Pistons, okay?
Yeah.
We just fired our GM, who, by the way, at first when we hired him, I was excited. But now, yeah, definitely gives a round of applause. It needed to happen. Let's be real. It needed to happen. Like, no progress.
Yeah.
Ever since he came in, we made no progress. To be honest, we probably gotten worse. We are
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so with that said, TK, they gave you the keys. What the heck are you going to do to fix the Detroit Pistons, man?
I'm a Piston fan. I'm a lifer, so I'm passionate about the Pistons. But whoever's in the scouting department, we need to hire a whole new scouting staff because, for one, we don't have the coaching staff to develop any of the young players that we bring in. Plus, we can't identify talent. This is one thing that I was saying pre-draft when they drafted Jaden Ivey. I love the Jalen Duren pick, but he can't shoot. Jaden Ivey, we are in the era of perimeter shooting. I wanted them to draft, what's the guy who went to Portland?
I know who.
Henderson?
No, not Henderson.
School Henderson?
No.
He's a dunker. He can get up.
Oh, yeah. Out of high school.
Out of high school.
I know you talk about, man, what's
I'm
his
not
name?
I think of his name.
Yeah, I
but
know you're talking
I
about.
wanted them to
Shaden
draft
Sharp.
Shaden
Sharp, yeah.
I wanted them to draft him because, for one, he's young. He's 6'5", 6'6". Just imagine that backcourt, him and K, 6'7" and 6'6". You got an athletic freak, and he can shoot. He complements K. He can give K off the ball. Ivy is a transition player. They're using him wrong. They're using him more half court, and he's a transition player. They should put the ball in his hand and let him speed up the pace. So they, for one, don't have the coaching staff to use the talent the right way. We can't identify the talent through the scouts, and we don't develop it. So I would clean house, starting at the scouting department, and whatever appeal I got to swallow for Monty Williams' contract, he has to go.
I was gonna say, are you a fan of Monty?
No, I wasn't a fan of him with Phoenix because I seen how he got out coached night after night, leaving what's the bum name?
Aiden.
Leaving Aiden on Antetokounmpo 1-on-1. Okay, you showing me you can't adjust. They paid him all this money. We've gotten worse. Who's gotten better? The only person that we can say actually has gotten better from when we first seen him is Jalen Duren.
Yeah.
But he's a hard work player. It isn't like he's showing skill or nothing. He just works hard. So I'm cleaning the house with all of that. And then, we can't attract free agents right now. So the only thing I think we can do is, because I'm not giving K $200.
Really?
If we are,
I can't let go of Cade. If we let go of Cade, I ain't gonna lie, I might stop watching the Pistons forever, bro.
stay with me. Tell me this. You pay a guy all that money, and year after year, you're in position to be the number one pick in the draft. If I'm going to, now I know that's going to hurt you as far as fans in the stands because you do have nobody to come down there and see, but K's going to miss 20 games every year. And if I can't win with you, I would rather start this thing over because we're already at the bottom, and I would rather pay somebody who now if I'm gonna give them a shot with a new coach, but if we still 17, 20 wins on the season, that's not 200 plus million to me.
So there was a stat that came out. Somebody posted it. They said the last playoff wins for each team, and the Pistons had 0 playoff wins since 2010. I think we probably made the playoffs like once, maybe twice since then.
Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond.
Yeah. So we're the only franchise, by the way.
Yeah.
Even Charlotte has playoff wins since 2010. So since 2010, we are the only NBA franchise that has 0 playoff wins. Guys, a rebuild should take about 3 years.
Yeah.
14 years, we have not even got 1 playoff win. And I think we probably only have 1, maybe 2 playoff appearances, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So-
got swept by Milwaukee.
And it was swept by Milwaukee. Then we have that Cleveland. I remember we had Cole.
We swept
Yeah,
by
I remember that.
We got swept by Cleveland.
got
Swept by
swept,
Cleveland
yeah.
too. Yeah, Rodney Stuckey and all
Yeah,
that.
no, so it's like that's embarrassing to me, man. Somebody needs to be held accountable. I don't know, Moti. What are your thoughts? What would you do?
Listen, man, I'm a homer. I will always continue watching Detroit sports. I don't care if they're losing, winning. You know, I'm just like that. I watch the Tigers. You know, some people don't got bellies right now, but I do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But as far as the Pistons, man, Troy Weaver got a lot of credit for Sam Presti's work. You know, for
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
OKC. You know what I'm saying? I think he was just an assistant under him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? As you guys can see, Presti's still doing a hell of a job.
Yes.
He's the
So
man.
yeah, so was a Weaver. The guy we hired. He's a young dude. I heard a lot of great things about him. And moving forward, as far as draft picks, man, I mean, I like the Ivy. I like Asar. I like these guys. You know what I'm saying? But in today's game, those guys are going to stay, away from the game. You know what I'm saying? We need shooters. You know what I'm saying? We need guys. You know what I'm saying, that can shoot and a playoff Cade. Ivy is a good player, but he probably works, on another team.
Yeah.
I want them. Like I know it's crazy, man, but I want them to go after Booker. I want them to offer the whole house.
Yeah.
to go
I mean,
after Booker.
because you gotta understand, Phoenix gotta want to give up on Booker though, and I don't know if that's the case.
No, because Phoenix got to come into a situation where they got to go over the cap. You know what I'm saying, with the contracts. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So getting a young guy like Ivy, might even throw in Asar, might even throw in 3, 4, first round draft picks. That's gonna help him with the salary cap. You know what I'm saying, in my opinion.
How about Paul George?
I'd rather have Booker, man. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Booker always wanted to come to Detroit. You know what I'm saying? He's from here. I think he's
Yeah,
from Flint or
Flint.
Saginaw.
Flint.
So he's always represented Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So I think it would be a passion for him to come play for us. And he would, to me, he's a guy that would work good with Cade, in my opinion.
Perfect,
You know what I'm
with
saying?
Cade.
So I would go that route.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, that would obviously be a dream scenario for the Detroit Pistons if we can land us a superstar, especially like Booker. I think that would be a great fit for us because he'll check off a lot of boxes that we definitely need, which is the scoring and the compliment to Cade Cunningham. Because let's be honest, right now, Cade Cunningham's just even though he's also people still question, what he has done for the Pistons. Even though I think he's a really great player, but it's fair to question it because, like you said, he's missed at least 20 games all 3 years of his career so far with the Pistons. So I don't know.
And if you look at every other franchise that's had a number 1 overall pick, they've went up.
Yeah.
We are the only team that have it. San Antonio, Wembanyama, I mean, he's generational, but you see the progress. You see where they're going. When Zion first got to the Pelicans, he took him up. Ant-Man.
Banchero, Orlando.
I love Paulo.
Yeah.
Up. Ant. Up. The Pistons have the same. They are the same. We are going down. We getting worse. You know what I'm saying? So
I think worst season. Was this the worst season in NBA history? I think
no,
it was.
not in for us. It was
Okay.
not ever.
Would you say Charlotte?
No, it's for franchise.
Oh, franchise, yeah. Well, I don't know. But that's the NBA talk. We're going to run our last ad. Then we're going to move into the NFL. We got to talk about the Packers and NFC North. You know what I'm
No
saying?
doubt.
I need to know where you stand with some of these Packers Lions talk. So, Yusuf, let's run this last ad right quick and give a shout out to Specialty Medical Center, and then we're going to keep things rolling.
All right, Yusuf. So the other day I was playing basketball with my friends, doing what I usually do on the court. But as I was driving to the lane, I kind of hurt my knee.
Oh man, not again.
Yeah, but this time I knew which place to go to that would take care of me the best, and that is Specialty Medical Center. Specialty Medical Center is a medical center that prides itself on patient care and its rehabilitation services. Their primary focus is developing a customized treatment plan unique to each individual patient's needs. Their center offers a full range of patient care, from diagnostic testing, pain management, physical therapy, regenerative medicine solutions, and surgical care. They currently have 2 locations, one in Dearborn and one in Sterling Heights. So if you're looking for a place that treats your medical needs the best, be sure to stop by Specialty Medical Center.
YouTube is good for posting the videos, you know.
Yes, sir.
So, but yeah, man. Going off of that, we went from talking NBA. Now we're gonna talk NFL. All right. So with that said, you know, the NFC North, it has the Lions, it has the Packers, it has the Vikings, it has the Bears. You know, as you all know, we're big Lions fans here at Oz Media and the Fantasy Guys. I'm sure TK is a Lions fan as well.
Yes, sir.
I'm hoping so. So his son is in Green Bay though. All right, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Green Bay was that little pesky team last year that you didn't want to play in the playoffs.
Nah.
Because they were getting hot at the right time. Their young players were starting to develop, and I think it's only up from here for Green Bay.
Yeah.
And you know, my boy was, you know, he talks smack like I was mentioning to you guys, Matt Cassidy. He was just saying, he was like, good luck. He's like, you guys better hope that you guys take care of business because, you know, it's gonna be Green Bay's division again. So with that said, how do you see this division playing out this year? Obviously, the Lions won last year, finished 12-5. Green Bay surprisingly was 9-8. I feel like now, you know, obviously that's probably gonna get better. Then you got the Bears, Caleb Williams, Keenan Allen, Romeo Dunze.
Yeah.
You know, and then you got Vikings too. I mean, I you know, as much as we're not talking about them, they had a low key good offseason too.
Right.
I mean, other than now the question mark is their quarterback. But how do you see them playing? How do you see this division playing out?
I am a Lion fan, man. So deep down, I'm still rooting for the Lions to win. But I think Minnesota would be 4th.
Me
I think
too.
the Bears are a lot better. They're going to finish 3rd. And I think it might come down to the last 2 weeks of the season with Green Bay and the Lions. I would love to see the Lions win the division, but Green Bay win the Super Bowl. So, personal reasons.
Yeah, I would. If that's the case, I'll switch that off. You know, I definitely switch that off, man.
Right.
No, because listen, man, and not to cut you off. I don't
No,
know
you
if
good.
want
You
to-
good.
Listen, I really think this is the Lions' year to win the Super Bowl,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Like last year, even when we were up at halftime, I had that feeling, you know, in the NFC Championship. I was like, man, like, you know how you kind of like have to like go through stuff to get to where you need to get to.
Oh, yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Like, I compared their situation right now with the Pistons. I remember in 2003, we had to lose to the Nets to beat the Nets in 2004. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we had to go through that to get to there.
Right.
You know, never in Detroit history have we just flipped it around and jumped right in and won it all.
Yeah.
For some reason, we always go through struggle in
Got
Detroit.
to.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we have to.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, I felt weird that we were in that position. And of course, we blew the lead and we ended up losing to San Fran. And I'm like, dang, that kind of sucks. But I know I was still happy with the way how everything turned out.
Yeah.
But I think all that happened, like even the draft being in Detroit, like I felt like people had to see like how we were so excited about this team.
No doubt.
And I think we even gained more fans that were outside of the state of Michigan just from the draft alone, you know. That people are like, all right, you know what, man? You know, we're probably going to get behind this Lions team. And even the Lions players, you know, when they came on stage, you know, chanting Jared Goff and everybody's seeing that. Like now I feel like, you know, they have a chip on their shoulder. And by the way, I think this is the deepest Lions team we've ever had. Like
True.
this year they drafted depth. You know, free agents depth. Like now it's like we have an injury. Guess what? We have the next man up.
Yeah.
You know, back then we lose somebody. Good luck. The season, you know, we're screwed. But I don't know, man. I think the Lions have done everything that they're supposed to do. And, you know, I don't know, man. You know, as good as Green Bay is going to be, and I think they're going to be pesking. Hopefully I see us splitting with them because I don't see us sweeping Green Bay Packers, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And they're going to be a team, to be honest with you, that you're not going to want to play in the playoffs, in my opinion, anyone. But I think that this is still the Lions' year. I think this is the Lions' year to go all the way, Moti. What you think, man?
100%. The hype is real, man. Green Bay, to me, is our threat. You know, Jordan Love, you know, a Green Bay just find those quarterbacks, right? And Jordan Love is the next great Green Bay quarterback, in my opinion. You know, even like, you know, with Kalen, you know, Omar talked about it. I think he went to the perfect situation, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Green Bay also breeds corners, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I know they got Alexandria on one side, and the other side I think is open. You know what I'm saying, for competition. But hype is real for Detroit, like you said, man. Depth in every position, talented players. You know what I'm saying, guys that experience the NFC Championship game. Are hungry to get back there. And I agree, man. I think this is our year, this year and next year for sure.
What are your thoughts on this?
I think both teams are prime because they're both young. I think it's gonna come down to what quarterback plays the best.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, because we seen 1 year of it with Jordan Love, and they only got expectations of him to take it another notch up. And Jared Goff has been there, and he's shown the last 2 years that he's a franchise quarterback. So I think when it's all said and done, it's gonna be about which one of those quarterbacks takes him to the promised land.
So I always believe in like some little things that can go a long way. And Ben Johnson, our offensive coordinator, coming back, I think that was probably the biggest.
Agreed.
Yeah, biggest. I don't know what you want to call it, but biggest, I guess, move or decision in the Lions offseason. When I saw that he came back, like he sees it obviously way better than any of us from the outside.
Yeah.
For him to come back, number one, people are so close-minded. This guy's gonna get plenty of offers next year, and if he stays again next year, he's gonna get plenty of offers to follow. Like he's gonna just continue to get offers. It was just a matter of did he want to leave yet or not. And he had a quote. He had a quote that I think was it was funny. He said he just wanted to enjoy the sun shining a little more, one more time. You know what I mean?
That.
So like he wanted to enjoy, reap the rewards. Like he really wanted to stick around, and you only do that if you feel like you can go to the promised land. You know what I'm saying? So Ben Johnson, I think our coaching staff is, everybody pretty much is intact still. Yeah. That's a big step. Easily teams that go that far, you lose your D coordinator, you lose your offensive coordinator. Like look at the Eagles. They made it to the Super Bowl. They lost both, coordinators. And look, they're both head coaches and did a good job, by the way. So it happens. The Lions, I feel like everybody just kind of wants to be a part of this special moment because they know how special it would be if they bring the Super Bowl to.
Oh, man.
Going to the Super Bowl would be crazy, obviously, but winning it, man, that's a whole nother level, man. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. The NFC North, can't wait to watch it and how that works out. So, and then the final, most important question, and as a father, and I want you to keep it 100. What is your actual expectations for your son, Kalen King, in his rookie year? Keep it real. What do you see? You know the game. You know how it works. You know how everything is. So, what is your personal?
I know the chip that he has on his shoulder and the competitor that he is. So I got expectations of him reestablishing his name, really waking up a lot of the naysayers and the doubters who believe that he got drafted right where he's supposed to been. But I know that fire that burns in him. I know that what fuels him. And I know he's going to show everybody that what they were saying in 2022 wasn't a fluke. So he's going to come out, reestablish himself, put his name back on the radar, and after that, man, it's football. He's going to do him.
I love that. I love that, man. Go ahead and give that a round of applause, Moti. Yusuf, about Moti, for you, what do you think, man, about Kalen King? Like, what do you want to see from him too?
I mean, he was a dog at Penn State. He was always going up against the top receivers. Those receivers are playing in the NFL now, so he has that experience. Like I said earlier, I think Green Bay is the perfect opportunity for him, man. And TK mentioned Green Bay is like in no man's land. So it's like
middle of
nowhere. So it's literally he could literally focus on football. There's no distractions unless you want to go to Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? We've been to Milwaukee.
There's distractions in Milwaukee.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I honestly, I really loved it. It was either there or Detroit, because I mean, of course, I want him to go to Michigan too. So I want him to play home. But yeah, I really like it. Really do.
Would you have wanted him to play in the Lions with all the distractions? And I mean, obviously being from here.
Not really, not because of the distractions. You know what I'm saying? You close to home. It's a lot of you comfortable here. One thing I know about comfort, man, that can deter you. You know what I'm saying? I like being uncomfortable because you're always on point. You always got your antennas up. So coming back here, having to deal with I kind of keep the family, aspect at, a minimum as far as, distractions that way. But, man, the temptation is here too. We have beautiful women here. We have a lot of, enticing things that, can start to knock at your door when they never did. But, being that Wisconsin is calm, quiet, in the middle of nowhere, and that's all you can do is focus on that playbook. And when you get on that field, I think he landed at the right spot. If they would have drafted him, yeah, we would have made the best of it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't rooting for it.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, guys, this is TK, man. He just came on here and gave y'all some gems, man. Can we give him one more round of applause, Yusuf, man? And, first of all, be sure to follow us on all of our socials, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Can I cut you off? I got to give for you.
Oh, okay.
I got to
Here we
give
go.
for
Here we
I
go.
come bearing gifts, man. I see you got the Jersey Wall of Fame, man. So I wanted to bless you with
here we go.
the Kobe and Kaylin King Penn State.
Wow.
That's fire. That's
wow.
fire.
Look at this
Yeah,
right
you got
here.
the 4 on the front, the 41 on the back.
Look at that.
Yes, sir.
Wow,
Solid.
4.
Yeah, that's solid,
Look
solid.
at this. Let me show y'all this right at home. This is a 4 in the front. That represents Kalen.
Yes, sir.
And then the 41 on the back, it's the Kobe. And then you got K King. Obviously, they're both names.
doubt, no
Start with the
doubt.
K. Look at this, man. This is a proud moment right
You
here,
got the
man.
sleeve with the 4 on the one sleeve and the 41 on that
Wow,
too. So
wow, man. This is
yeah,
sweet. Hey, I
yeah.
appreciate you.
No doubt,
TK,
no doubt.
man.
I'm gonna say this too, man. You've always shown support and always been real. You know what I mean? And it's a pleasure to be invited on your podcast. You always got good energy and good people around. So it's a pleasure for me to give that to you. And hopefully we up on the Wall of Fame and we there for a minute.
It's gonna be right. McGrady gonna have to go. McGrady gonna have to go. I might have to move the Spartans thing, so I might put McGrady up there, then so that this could be shown right here, man.
doubt.
Because this is sweet as heck right here. I might have to rock this though one day before I put it up on the wall, man. Because this is where it's at right
No
here,
doubt.
man. Shout out to you, TK, man. All jokes aside, man.
Much love, much love.
And no need to be even thanking us, man. This is just something that we pride ourselves in, man. We're all about family. We're all about community. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And no matter the skin color, no matter the race, we should all be one. That's the kind of mindset that we have. We don't really like to talk about it. We just like to be about it. You know what I'm saying? And so it was fun.
Can I say one last thing?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people give me credit for everything with my boys, but their mom, her and I, we're not together anymore. We had a divorce years ago, but we are still a unit. And one thing I would like to tell parents that, it might not be, it might not work out for y'all in a relationship or in a marriage, but you still have to maintain that family atmosphere, because I would have never gotten them this far without her. Like the sensitive balance that she brought, but the positive outlook, she definitely was very instrumental to all of this. You know what I mean? So shout out to Felicia King, man. She's I don't want to give her handle out, but because a lot of women, they play the background and they don't get the credit, but we give our producers and directors credit over here. So
Facts.
go
Ahead and give Felicia a round of applause.
sure.
She's a great lady. She's another person that obviously, like you said, man, has been part of the journey as well. So she deserves her flowers as well.
No doubt.
So kudos to her as well, man. And you guys, a great team. Great team. Kalen, that's all he said was, and all I gotta do is, all I can thank is pretty much my parents and my brother, for the journey as well. So they know.
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah.
Who's been a part of that. So kudos to you guys, man. Like I said, doing a great job as well. Appreciate you guys, man. Again, like I was saying, be sure to follow us on all of our socials, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all under Oz Media. You'll be able to listen to the show on Apple and Spotify podcasts under Oz Media. Shout out to all the sponsors. We appreciate them and their support. Moti, any final words, final comment?
TK, my dog, I appreciate you for coming on, man.
Much
You
love.
are one of the realest, around. And I remember the first time, we were on the Zoom. After the Zoom, I told Omar, I was like, dog, TK should have a podcast. You know what I'm saying? The way, you was talking, your knowledge, and even today, it solidified my position of saying that you deserve a podcast, man. You know what I'm saying? But, I hope the boys, become great. And, you have the support from us, man.
Much love, man.
We're gonna have to catch up. We're gonna have to catch a Green Bay Lions game, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Let's do it.
I'm rocking the Lions all day.
All day.
Hey, I'm rocking it too. So.
We're gonna have to do that, man. Shout out to TK. Appreciate him. We hope nothing but great things for his kids. Kalen starting his first year in Green Bay, and then Kobe starting his last year at Penn State. So that should be exciting as well. And we hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Like I said, I hope you took notes if you watched it live or eventually gonna watch it later. I hope you learned something from this. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and we'll